Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. I like your background. It's so festive.
Oh, thank you. I like yours. It feels warm.
Oh, yeah. I'm on the ground and I have all my stacks of books next to me. I was like, oh, I can put them next to me and stack them up, but then it looked like it didn't look good.
Looked like
But
you're in a box.
yes, it did. You
Uh,
came much more prepared than I did, probably. I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't print out not our script, but our, template for
our
what tomorrow. So
itinerary.
I frantically wrote out all my
Oh my
notes
gosh.
and color coded them. So
You're
we're off to a great start.
perfect. I would say you're actually more prepared than I am. That's great. Um, yeah, that's awesome. So, I want to also say if you hear weird scratching on the door, we don't have a wild animal in the house. It's just Mooey trying to get in the room. And for those who don't know, we'll be talking about our pets later, but he is our cat. Okay, with that
Not
said,
our cat, but
oh yeah,
Alyssa is Zach's cat. I'm the aunt though. Mooey is my nephew.
yes, sorry, yes. I was thinking, I'm like, that's probably actually weird because it probably sounds like it's, yeah. Anyways, thanks for the clarification. um, with that said, Jordan, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, so welcome to Books and Bindings. My name is Jordan Nyland.
And my name is Alyssa Zavalianos, and this is a space where we chat about reading, writing, and the faith that binds us as friends and as Christians.
We want to exemplify Christ in everything we say and do, and we hope that our conversations are encouraging in your walk as a reader, a writer, and a believer.
And let's start chatting. Hey.
Welcome to chat number 1. Welcome, as it is called. Yeah, so we just kind of want this first chat to be an opportunity to introduce ourselves and go into a little more depth about why we started this chat podcast YouTube. We don't really know what we are. We just know that we want to do this. Yeah, so we just want to hang out and give you guys a little behind the scenes.
Perfect. You said that so much better than I would have.
Oh, much rehearsing.
Great. Yeah, no, it's great. So we know a lot about each other, Jordan. We've had the luxury or the privilege, or I feel like I've had the luxury and privilege of getting to know you at Gordon, where we went to school. But I don't know if you would like to start off and tell our viewers a little bit about you, and then I can go and talk a little bit about myself, just so we can kind of familiarize whoever's watching a little bit more about who we are.
Hopefully more than just our moms and our husbands.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am Jordan Nyland. I grew up in Connecticut formerly. I have a big family, lots of cousins, lots of aunts and uncles. I'm the oldest of 4. And growing up, I always loved reading and writing. I really have to credit my parents for my love for reading and writing. From literally the day I was born, my parents would read to me every single day. And so I feel like I can't remember a time in my life where I wasn't just enraptured with stories and storytelling. So always been a huge part of my life, and also a huge reason why I studied English at Gordon College, where Alyssa and I met. So let's see, what else? I did ballet for about 10 years. I competed for about 4, I think, or 5, which was like the best time in my life. So much fun. And then most recently, I got married in November. So we're almost at the 4-month mark, which is crazy to believe. But yeah, I met my husband at Gordon, and that's about it. That's sort of a very broad view of who I am.
That's great. And I'll kind of piggyback off of that and say, I did not grow up in Connecticut, but I grew up in New Hampshire. So still in New England. And I am the youngest of 3. So it's cool that you're the oldest. And I also would say My mom is a huge reader. Like she loves reading. I wouldn't say reading runs in my family. Like well, actually, I'll take that back. My dad would always tell us like homemade bedtime stories. Like they were called Mickey, Donald, and Goofy stories, and he would, yeah, he would just like
That's so
put,
cute.
he would just put like the Disney characters and in their, I don't know, a unique setting and create stories. And so we reminisce on those, especially my brothers. I think yeah. So he would tell us those stories going to bed. But I would say that my love for writing probably evolved over time. I don't think when I was really young, I don't think, hold on, sorry, my cat is begging to come into this.
He's like, when do I get to be talked about?
I know. I'm like, all I can picture is just like on this video. I'm like, I can't deal with that.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's in the room now, so if he shows his face. So I think I was talking about, oh yeah, so I came into my love of writing a little bit later in life. So it wasn't something that I kind of knew, I guess, growing up. I started reading Nancy Drew probably when I was in late middle school, late elementary, late middle school time frame. So I think I can credit reading largely for and my love of reading for also becoming an English major like you as well. And that's where I met you, Gordon. And I believe that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. That's kind of me in a nutshell. Yeah. So yeah, like Jordan and I said, we met in college, which was really cool. And Jordan, you're a year below me, but I felt like we were the same age the whole time.
Yeah, we had a couple classes together, right? I'm trying to remember. I know we had fiction. Was that the only one?
Was this the was this the not Renaissance, but like romantic length or something?
Yes, there was that one. I forget. Yeah,
romantic lit.
Yes, romantic lit, and I think fiction, right?
The fiction one.
Maybe it wasn't fiction. Anyways, we
I can't remember.
Had one class together. And we would always sit next to each other. And I mean, we had mutual friends, but I feel like we already knew each other because of that. But then also being English majors, and we are also extremely similar. It just so many unique, specific ways.
It's so true.
Yeah. So actually, do you want to talk about our first impressions of each other?
Yeah, that's great. I'm trying to go back in time of thinking like, what did I first think about
this
Jordan?
is like 2015, think probably.
Yeah, 14 or 15. I graduated in 2016, and I think I knew you for at least the first, yeah, maybe it was only 2 years in college. I think, right? That sounds right.
Yeah.
3 years, 2 or 3 years. But yeah, so my first impression of Jordan was I thought she was beautiful. Yeah. And very sweet. I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel like she's so cool and I want to be her friend. And I felt like also, maybe this is kind of weird to say, but because you're also a little more quiet and reserved, I was like, oh my gosh, she's full of secrets and I want to know them. Like, so I'm really glad that we're friends and now I know all your secrets.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my first impression of you was you're just so sweet, and you carry this, you have a way that you carry yourself that's just so light and airy. That sounds weird. That's not what I mean. Yeah, you just have a very energetic and magnetic personality, and it's just always been really easy to be around you. And so yeah, even since graduating, we've become a lot closer. And yeah, I feel like since COVID, we've gotten especially close. There was something about COVID that we texted each other every single day, and we started a little book club with just the two of us. Yeah.
Well, thank you for those kind words. That's really sweet. But yeah, going off of what you said, we really did like text each other probably every day during COVID. And I remember there was one text I sent you, or you sent me first. I don't know who sent what first, but we said, "Hey, Jordan," or "Hey, Alyssa, I'm writing a story." And whoever said it first, we were like, "No way. I am also writing a story." And then it was like, this is ridiculous. Like, who could have planned that we would have been writing a story at the same exact time?
Oh my
Um,
gosh, you're right, because you were
yeah,
writing the Earth Treader.
yes.
And that's when we started becoming really close, I think, was when you were either in the middle of writing it or finishing writing it,
Mhm.
something like that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just started writing my children's novel, which is still far from done, but
Okay.
yeah, I remember really bonding with you over that.
Mhm. Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, wow, I knew you've always liked to write and I knew you were a great writer. But I just had never, I don't know, it was my first time getting a taste of what a writing community could feel like. So that was exciting. I was like, wow, we could like be embarking on this journey together. And it really felt that way. Um,
Mhm.
for all those months of COVID. And I know COVID has been hard for so many people. I'm just thankful for the opportunity it gave us for our friendship to really bond more and I think lean into our passions and our creativity. You know, I think that's been a huge gift, an unexpected gift. I had no idea. So I'm just thankful for your friendship and how the
Yeah,
Lord just made that all happen.
definitely. For sure.
Um, okay, we're gonna talk about how.
Nice transitions.
Yeah, really not that smooth.
We're
Um,
learning. It's our first one.
it's
We're
true.
doing great.
It is our first one. I'm also watching my cat lick his paw very aggressively over here in the corner, so it's kind of
Little-
distracting. Um, anyways, we're gonna talk about how we decided, why and how we decided to start books and bindings.
Yeah,
Um, yes, Jordan, do you want to take this away?
sure. So this was actually a very recent occurrence. We did not think very long and hard on it. We kind of pounced on it right away. But you came up for my birthday we went out to lunch and our husbands tagged along and we were talking about our writer Instagrams and how I recently joined the Bookstagram community. And both our husbands said, "You guys should do a podcast." And then all of a sudden they're going back and forth with all their ideas and, "Oh, you should have a ring light and you should talk about this." And so it was like they planned our podcast, whereas we do not have ring lights. This is a
Nope.
very low budget production. But yeah, so we were always talking together about what we're reading and what we're writing, and always asking each other how we can be praying for each other and what the Lord is teaching us and where we're at in the Bible. And so we thought it would be fun and maybe encouraging for other people to chime in or to listen in on what our conversations typically look like.
Mhm. Yes, and so yeah, it is kind of funny how our husbands our husbands were like, "Here is this nugget," and we're like, "Oh, actually, it's a good idea." So I
Mhm.
like how you said we pounced on it because we really did. We were like, "Yeah, let's make this happen." Um, and so I would like to say that we can credit the title "Books and Bindings" to Jordan because she came up with that, and I think it fits our n- just our whole idea and mission to a T. And talking about our mission, here at Books and Bindings, we really want to try to provide encouraging and honest conversation on books and writing, all the while exemplifying Christ in everything we say and do. We hope that our conversations are encouraging in your walk as a reader, writer, and a believer. So that is ultimately our mission here at Books and Bindings, talking about books and writing and all that, you know, the literary side, and then the binding of our faith and our relationships with the Lord and how that can impact each other, our friendship, and the community, whoever listens. um, so yeah, so we hope honestly that that is the big takeaway from here, that you, whoever's listening, you guys are listening out there, that we just want to exemplify Christ. Honestly, that's our heart. And have good conversation, because Jordan and I talk together all the time. So now you're gonna having a little snapshot into our daily, weekly lives. So yeah.
Very well said. And I also think it could be fun. I don't have many people in my life where I can talk in detail about the writing process and reading with. And it would be so cool to also bring on people that we've met through our little Bookstagram community and ask them questions about their projects they're working on and ask them what books they're reading. And yeah, we also want to kind of highlight other people who kind of share a similar mission.
Yes, I totally agree. I think that's a huge, I don't know, a great way for us to get involved in the community more too, and then get others as well. So you guys might see a third head pop, a third screen or fourth screen pop up here eventually. Not today, but in the future. So yeah. And then our hope in our chats, our hope for the chat and podcast, we still don't really know what this is. We're not YouTubers and we're not podcasters. But not like anything's wrong with those. We just kind of don't really know what to call this. Maybe we'll fall into that as we progress in this journey. So we'll just call it like a chat session. Maybe we'll have tea one day. Make it like a tea party. Yeah. So yeah, I think just our hope is for you guys to be encouraged, walk away encouraged, and maybe inspired to pick up your own pens and start writing, pick up a book and start reading, or pick up a Bible and get to know Jesus. So honestly, we just, whatever form that takes, that's, I think, ultimately our hope.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So another awkward transition.
You still gotta get better at these.
Yeah. Maybe with some clever editing that we'll eventually learn how to do. But we also thought it would be fun. So Alyssa, you have a cat, as we know, and I have a bunny, which maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't know, but we thought it might be fun, since they are a part of our little families, to talk about them a little bit. Do you want to go first, Alyssa?
Sure. Yeah, so I have a domestic long hair cat named Mufasa. That is his full name. Actually, his full name is Mufasa John Zavalianos. He has his father's middle name. He is he's very regal and he's very stubborn. He goes by Moo mostly. He's black and white, so it fits him kind of like a cow. And if you've read The Earth Treader, he also is a star character in the book. So he's great. He's honestly our pride and joy. I'm married to a wonderful man named Zach, and we love him like he's our fur son, our fur son. I don't even know, a furry son. And so he's very spoiled. He's currently sitting on a book right now, and just kind of glaring at me, but he's sweet. He's so fun. And recently we've started giving him wet food and he loves it. Like at 5 o'clock, every time 5 o'clock rolls around, he's just annoyingly begging for his beef stew. And it's just the cutest thing, but so annoying. But we love him. We love him a lot. So that's Jordan, sweet. Can you tell us about your little bun?
Yes. So funny story about how she was acquired. So we got her in December, like a week before Christmas. So my husband is a pastor. So we live in the parsonage next to our church, and someone abandoned a bunny, our bunny, outside the church. And we were, at this point, we had been married a month, and we were like, but we have to rescue her. It's a Christmas miracle. So we brought her inside, and she is just the sweetest thing in the world. We brought her to the vet. The vet thinks she's about 6 months old. Sweetest personality, so cute and friendly. And Yeah, she's just the sweetest. We named her Marzipan because I did ballet, and I was just thinking of the Nutcracker, and I think there's one dance of the marzipan. Oh,
I can't remember.
I think there's marzipan somewhere in there.
Sounds accurate. Yeah.
But we call her Marzi girl. But yeah, she's just the sweetest thing in the whole world. And she recently started doing this thing where when she wants attention, she'll aggressively drink from her water bottle, and it like rattles the cage. So we have like a water dish for her. We have two different options for her. We have the water dish and we have the bottle, because we read somewhere that rabbits can be temperamental with how they like to drink. So anyways, only when she wants attention does she drink from her bottle, and it's really cute and also slightly annoying. Yeah, but she's so sweet. It's funny when we got her, so her name on the certificate or whatever, because we had to bring her to the vet. At that point, I hadn't legally changed my name yet, and so it said Marzipan Jaworski. And we're like, that's the most hilarious name we've ever heard. Marzipan Jaworski, the bunny.
I love it. I love it. That's cute. And actually, I've been privy to hearing her aggressively drink from her bottle, and it's hilarious. It's so
She's a
funny.
nut. She's an absolute nut.
I remember when I first met her, she was so sweet, and she just hopped on my lap and was eating food out of my hand. And
Mhm. I
everyone
think
needs marzipan.
I
Yeah.
think you posted some pictures of her, and I posted some too of you holding her. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was sweet. The day she met her auntie. Um,
Mhm.
and then I know you and Matt had met Mooey as well. So he just is like an attention hog. He just needs to circle around your legs and brush up against you, and he just loves affection. So, but I love that we have very cute pets that we adore. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to say how we named Mooey, but it was my dad. My dad came up with the name Mufasa, and so it's kind of a simple story. But we got him at Free Cat Adoption Day, um, and
Oh,
so which was great. But kind of like
did
a
you name
random.
him?
Did we
Sorry.
what?
Did you name him Mufasa knowing that you were going to call him Mooey because he looked like a cow? Well, he didn't look like
Honestly,
a cow, but
he does kind of look like a cow. It was just a happy coincidence. I think
that's
it's
funny.
just it went from Mufasa to Mufi, and then like to Moo, and then we call him like Boo Boo and Baby and Fuzzy Muffin. Like I don't know, just all these random.
Uh,
So yeah, I've only ever called him Mufasa once. Um, but yeah, so that's how we got him. We got him at Free Adoption Day. So we didn't pick him up in a parking lot, though. That would have been a really interesting story. I wish that we had kind of a more like romantic way of getting him, but we did adopt him, and so we rescued him. So happy about that.
yeah, that's really sweet.
um, okay, so now that we've talked about our pets, I want to talk about our other love, which is books.
Oh,
I know. Um, so books are great, and I believe everyone has at least one favorite book. Maybe that's an impossible task to name just one. If you're like me, I have at least 10. Um, if maybe Jordan, I don't know how many you have, but maybe we could list some of our favorite books. And then also maybe we could also like I'll maybe put a list if I can figure it out.
yeah.
Sorry, YouTube. I don't know if I can figure this out, but if I can, I'll put a list of all our favorite books and their authors in the comment thing.
Yeah.
So Jordan, what are some of your favorite books?
Yeah. My all-time favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. I know that's kind of cliche, but I grew up reading, always writing. But both of my parents, my family aren't really big readers either. And so I don't know how to explain this. I was trying to think, how do I articulate this? I didn't know that you could read a book and that things like symbolism and other literary things existed. I just thought, oh, you read a book and that's the story. But when I was a freshman in high school, my English teacher, Mrs. Green, we read To Kill a Mockingbird, and it was like The Wizard of Oz, where you think the black and white world is all there is and it's great, but then all of a sudden the curtain is peeled back and it's color. And I was like, whoa, I love to read, but I had no idea there were all these things to look for as I read. And it feels like a treasure hunt almost. And so yeah, she did that with To Kill a Mockingbird for me. And so that just holds a really special place in my heart. But then other favorite books, Les Mis. I love Les Mis. It's a huge commitment. It's like 1,300 pages long. Took me 2 months to read it, but it's some of the most beautiful writing I've ever read. The Help by Kathryn Stockett, The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah, the Bible, obviously. Oh, those are the first ones that come to mind.
That's great.
I'm sure I'm missing like 10 of them, but those are the first ones.
You got all the ones that I thought you would say. So if I think of any that maybe you may have missed, maybe I can say, Jordan, what
Yeah.
about? But I didn't know that story about To Kill a Mockingbird. I've always known that was your favorite, but I had no idea
Yeah.
that was the start.
Yeah. It was, I still remember that feeling of, wait a second, because there's one scene where Scout and I think it was Scout and Jem, they were building a snowman, but there wasn't enough snow on the ground. And so they were using mud. So it was a combination of this white and then this black. And I would have just thought, oh, they're just building a snowman. But my teacher was like, no, that symbolizes, the racial themes that are going. And I was like, what? And since then it's just, I read books with that scene in mind of there's more here to uncover. It's just so cool. I could talk about it for a while.
That's awesome. I love that. Honestly, I think, like you said, I think you summed it up perfectly, that books are literally, they take you on treasure hunts. To be able to see, pick up those little pieces of symbolism. I think that's beautiful. And that's another thing I loved about, I think, our classes when we were at Gordon, that we were able to kind of dig a little bit deeper into some of those literary pieces. So
what about you?
Yeah, sorry.
Your favorite books?
My favorite books?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I talk about this all the time, so I feel like it's no surprise to say Lord of the Rings is my favorite of all time. Of course, the Bible, but I also love Narnia. Narnia has been great, but I didn't read it when I was young. I actually read it probably within the last 5 to 6 years. So I think I've learned to appreciate reading more as I'm older than I was when I was younger. So these are all kind of relatively within the last maybe 10, 15 years. So Lord of the Rings, Narnia. I just finished Set the Stars Alight by Amanda Dykes. It was amazing. That's actually probably like my second favorite book now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think you'd love it, Jordan. Like really,
Okay.
it's beautiful. I have it right here. It's just, look at this cover. Like it's
Yeah, it's really pretty.
so pretty.
It just kind of stirs your imagination right there.
Yeah, it's so magical too. Like it's a historical, I believe, historical fiction, but it felt like a fairy tale, even though it was all real, or realish, because it's fiction still. But it was so good. So that's definitely one of them. And then for classics, I really love The Wind in the Willows and Black Beauty. I really love animal stories. So, yeah, so those are some of my favorite. And for some like Regency romance ones, I like Blackmorn, where the stars meet the sea. I'm not like, my favorite genre isn't romance, but I definitely do enjoy like a good one if they're written well and they're of course clean. And then Books of Bayern by Shannon Hale. I think those are some of my favorite. Well, just a lot like some fantasy adventure stuff. So
Nice.
Yeah.
As you were talking, I was realizing all the books that sorry, let me rewind. Narnia, I feel like that's something that I grew up hearing the stories, so I feel like I've read it, but I never have. And this past year, so many people have recommended it to me, so I feel like I need to finally just do it. just read through the series.
Mhm. I would highly recommend it. But I mean, if you find the time, because there are, I think, 7 books. Yes,
Yeah.
if I look behind me, there are 7 books, and so I mean, they're small, they're not super long, but I don't know about you, series stress me out. I feel like the commitment to like start and then end. I'm like, oh, okay, that means I can't like read any other books in the middle, or I could, but that means I'm gonna prolong my series, and I just want to kind of get through it as quick as I can.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Um, but I don't know, those books. I feel the same way about Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings and Narnia to me don't feel like a series. They just feel like they all go together, and it's not like it doesn't feel like a hassle. But maybe for you, I don't know, do you like to read series, or are you more of a like a standalone girl?
I'm typically a standalone person, but there are a couple series that I really like. I'm reading through Anne of Green Gables right now for the first time, and they're just I think they've become some of my favorite books because it's every stage of Anne's life is written so truthfully and honestly and believably. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I just finished reading Anne of Ingleside, and it's where we finally see her become a mom and a wife. And it's so nostalgic in a sense because I feel like I've watched her grow up, and it's definitely become one of my favorite series. And then Harry Potter, I like the Harry Potter series. I'm not a huge like super fan, but I know enough about it to hold a conversation.
I feel the same way. So is Anne of Ingleside the second or third book in the
It's
series?
like the sixth,
Oh, the sixth.
fifth or
So
fifth or sixth, I think. Fifth, I
did
think it's the fifth.
did you read all of the ones leading up to it too?
Yeah, it goes, I have the stack somewhere. Anne of Green Gables, ooh, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island. Um,
Sorry,
oh,
I'm
I
putting
can't
you on the
tell
spot.
streams. I think it's the fifth one.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
If
that's
I'm
great.
wrong, somebody correct me.
It's okay. You know more than I do. I've only read the first one. I loved it, but I don't have the rest of the set, so I haven't. And plus, like I said, since I have limited shelf space and series stress me out, so I feel like if I really like, it's a commitment, and I want to read them, but I haven't had the chance.
Yeah, definitely a commitment.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're enjoying them. That's great. And I know a lot of people, especially in the Bookstagram community, they love them. They rave about them all the time.
They're really sweet. I haven't seen any of the TV shows or the movies that they've made about them, but once I finish, because I'm someone who has to finish a series before I watch any of the movies or TV shows, so I'm excited to start watching those.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are you reading right now?
what am I reading right now?
Yeah.
I'm reading currently, I have them right here. Um, I have currently reading my Bible. I actually just got a new cover, so I'm really happy about it.
Pretty.
Yeah, thank you. I'm reading Matthew, the book of Matthew in my Bible, and then Lord of the Rings. So I just finished reading, I think I forget what book I finished reading. So this is I'm coming up to a year of reading Lord of the Rings. I feel like the worst Lord of the Rings fan ever because it's taking me so long, but I'm just enjoying the journey. I'm not trying to rush it. And it's just like whenever I have time, I just feel like I'm visiting an old friend, you know. Um, so it's been
And
really
you've read it
sweet.
before.
Yeah, I have read
Yeah.
it before. But I'm like revisiting an old friend or
Mhm.
rereading. So this is my second time through. I'm almost halfway through the whole thing. This is like over 1,000 pages. So it's kind of like Your Les Mis,
Yeah.
a little bit.
I have
Um,
that somewhere. I don't know where.
which I that's on my list to read too. I have it's a thick book, Jordan.
It's a commitment.
It's a big.
It's beautiful, but there's a section where it's like 100 pages of just him walking through the sewers, and
Oof,
I'm like, when is this gonna end? So there's a
gosh.
couple sections that are like that, but the beautifulness makes up for the stuff that's a little bit boring,
No,
in
that's
my opinion. Yeah.
um oh wait, what are you reading right now too?
I'm reading Katie Couric's autobiography. She was an anchor on the Today Show.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like reading autobiographies every so often. I find people's lives so fascinating, and the journeys that they take and the opportunities that they seize. And then in the Bible, I'm actually in a few books right now. Matt and I are doing a chronological Bible reading plan. So it's organized by when the books were written and also by the event. So right now I'm in Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Psalms, First Kings and Second Chronicles. They're having me bounce around. So it's a little bit disorienting, but it's
Yeah.
also super helpful because I struggle with just history and like what king are we at? What year is this? And so it's helpful to read it through with all the events in order, if that makes sense.
No, that actually makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. And actually, if you could send me that plan, that would be great
Yeah.
because I struggle chronologically too with everything.
Yeah.
I wish that there was a timeline that started from like the very beginning of creation all the way till
Yes.
now with like every little thing, everything.
Yeah. Just write it all down somewhere.
I know, like I just need it all. So I just know
Right.
where it all fits in and like I don't know. That would just be so helpful.
Anything before 1940 or 1930, or actually no, anything before 1912, because the Titanic sank in 1912 and I am a Titanic fan. Anything before then, I have no idea what happened in history. I am so bad at numbers and all that stuff. But it's the Blue Letter Bible reading plan. So for anybody, maybe we can link that in the description.
Perfect.
Yeah, if we remember.
Yeah. I know I have to make a list of all these things that we're
Right.
promising people.
I know, right?
To make sure we get on it. That's perfect. Okay. Oh, sorry. Speaking about books and everything and reading, we have read The Nightingale and we
Yes.
loved it. So, yeah, sorry. I know you mentioned that's one of your favorite books, and I kind of got excited because that's the book that you and I, Jordan, and Jordan and I, talking to all of you out there, we read for our buddy read, and it was great. And we both honestly probably don't remember a lot from it since it was a while ago since we last read it, but we do remember how we felt after we finished reading it. And I can probably recount my reaction and what I did after I closed the last page. And maybe you can, Jordan, about how you felt and summarizing all that. Well, yeah, what are some thoughts you have just about remembering how you felt with the Nightingale?
I feel like everybody I've talked to who's read The Nightingale has had the same reaction as us. I have yet to meet one person who hasn't. Even my mom, who is not a reader, who, I mean, she reads, but not a lot. And she read it and she had the same reaction. She cried. I remember I finished it. I was on my bed and I just closed the book and I just cried for maybe 5 minutes because I didn't want to stop reading their stories. And it was so beautiful. Kristin Hannah she does a really good job of sucking you in and you can't stop reading. I felt the same way about The Four Winds. I just finished reading her book, The Four Winds, and I came away with a similar reaction of like, whoa, somebody wrote this. It's amazing.
Yeah, I
What
know
about
that.
you?
Yeah, I had a very similar reaction. I think what struck me the most was one, these are based off of maybe some real life events for some people, which was devastating. But like the way she wrote it was so beautiful, like the way she captivated us as readers. And I just, yeah, after I was done reading it, I sobbed for like 5 minutes. I poor Zach, he just was like, what is going on? But he just hugged me and I just let me cry. And I was literally giving him like a play-by-play synopsis of the whole book within those 5 minutes as I'm like crying. So I remember that and I was like, this book is just so good. So yeah, it's sweet that that's the one book that we read.
Yeah.
We did try another one, but it just didn't work out.
No.
We'll have to get back on that and pick a new book.
Yeah. Maybe a book that one of you guys out there are writing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, speaking of, since today is March 8th, today Caitlin Miller's book, The Memories We Painted, is out. So maybe we should read that one.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun, really fun.
Maybe we could bring her on.
Ooh, that's even better. So maybe next week, or not next week, oh my gosh, next month, maybe we'll have a special guest. But yeah, so Caitlin Miller's book, The Memories We Painted, we should also link that below, is out today. So grab your copy, it's wonderful. And I thankfully have had the honor of reading it already, but I would totally read it again, Jordan. We could read it together, which would be awesome. But yeah, so if you guys also, if you have any recommendations on books that we should read, maybe that would be fun, then we can talk about them. But yeah, so exciting.
This has been so fun, Alyssa, doing our first chat for Books and Bindings. Yeah, so I guess some things to think about, or not think about, but if you want to connect with us between now and next month. So we're going to be posting these little chats the second Tuesday of every month. And if you want to stay connected with us until then, you can follow us on our Instagrams. We will link those down below. Are you keeping track of everything?
I know, I'm like,
gotta do that. No, it should be linked down below, but yeah. And then anything else, Alyssa?
Ooh, what to expect for the next upcoming chat? I don't think we have a name for it yet, do we? Did we write?
I think it might be the title of your next book.
That's news to me. I just looked at it now, and you're right, it is.
Who wrote that?
So chat number 2 is called Endlewood. What an honor. I didn't realize you did that. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, upcoming next week. You can expect that.
Next month.
Oh yeah, why did you say next? I think I just really want this to be a weekly thing, Jordan.
Yeah, this is so fun. Maybe it will. Maybe.
I know it's kind of a big commitment, but sorry, next month. Please correct me anytime I say something wrong, because it will happen. I guess maybe next month we can talk about some of our writing projects as well. So Jordan, maybe if you're comfortable, I can talk about some of your writing. I can talk about some of mine, because we do have some other projects going on aside from just Endlewood, which will be fun to talk about. And yeah, as Jordan already said, the ways to get connected, we'll hopefully link those things down below. And yeah, overall, that's kind of it.
If you made it this far, comment. What's something they should comment if they made it this far? We're not gonna improv.
No, we are not. Comment what color socks you're wearing. Maybe that's weird, but we're curious. We want to know.
Yep, we do. Well, this has been so fun, Alyssa. I love you, and I can't wait to talk soon about planning chat number 2.
I'm so excited. Thank you, and it's just such a sweet gift to have your friendship and to be able to talk to you and your wise and kind, generous presence. So,
back at you.
Thank you. Well, I'm really bad at goodbyes, so I'm going to just say good night, everyone. Good night, Jordan. Love you, and we'll just resume next month.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.